and threw it to the side. I was very upset. Sorry, I had a chunk of apple still in my mouth. Cookie! Still D1 bound. So, now it's talking about the plot summary. Oh, I got chocolate all over myself. Lampshade, clean. Thanks. Now, after talking about the plot summary, we can get to the key themes. One of these key themes is the nature of nature. Is it the right as man to become his own god? Crake shows how man may one day be able to design the world he wants and make his own creation story, make him the God of the Old Testament. Crake takes this concept of a perfect human and then creates the Crakers and decides to create the world for them by destroying humanity. As I said, does that sound like the Bible a little bit? Yeah, it does. Yep, that's right. Thanks for agreeing with me, cameraman. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Excuse me. Paid for silence. Edward wants the reader to ask what can be the true effects of future actions and dangers that arise from a man with misled conceptions. It's said that nothing is more dangerous than a man with a belief. A man who has an idea locked in his heart is more dangerous than a man with an arsenal of weapons. It's the truth. Quote me on it. The second major theme is disease. Surprise, given that a major theme of the book revolves around disease, because that's what enables the entire story to take place, is a disease that destroys all of humanity. To Crake, he views disease as his purifying agent, a metaphorical whiteboard eraser that erases the sins and tragedies of man. Our decisions to be evil and diabolical, and that's where it spawns from. To the drug companies in the world, the ones that they work for, it's viewed as a means of constant income. It's often suggested that these drug companies create diseases in order to demand money and profit so they can stay in business. Makes you wonder what Kodak was doing with all those pictures they used to take. Kodak! Thank God I have an Apple. They haven't done anything yet. Looks like the logo now. The final major theme is names. Surprise, surprise. Another biblical allusion. Whenever a major event happens in the play, the characters change their names. For example, let's take Jimmy. Jimmy's originally born, surprise Jimmy, but during his teenage years, his name changes to Thickney, which represents a game called Extinctathon, which represented his eviler side of humanity. And finally, after the world changes and everyone's dead, his name goes from Jimmy to Snowman to symbolize his new role as his prophet, his leader of the Crakers. These names also help to differentiate Jimmy from the rest of the characters in the play. For example, Crake's name is also based off of Extinctathon, but it never changes. Also, Oryx's name is always Oryx. She never has a name change. It means she never changes who she is. And the people who are helping Crake design the Crakers, their name is Mad Adams. And all of their names in the program revolve around the game of Extinctathon. So it kind of makes you wonder, why didn't anyone realize why this mad scientist was naming everyone about extinctions? Sorry. Nothing like some good Pepsi Cherry from a cow uterus cup. Pretty normal thing. It's an udder. My apologies. Whatever. We'll roll with it. We will roll with it. So, now we come to this main question. Why is this book valuable? Why is it that you should read a book called Oryx and Crake in which you can't even pronounce half the things in it because they're weird science things? The best way to explain this is a quote said by Crake to Jimmy when explaining his concepts. He says, "Immortality is a concept. If you take mortality as being not death, but the foreknowledge of it and the fear of it, then immortality is the absence of such fear. Babies are immortal. Edit out the fear, and you will be immortal." Margaret Atwood does a wonderful job of addressing the issues that we are already facing. She knows how relations with others and the power of faith and idea can lead a man to do anything. Just look at Adolf Hitler. He's a man with an idea who made an entire country of people perform the most horrendous atrocities of the 20th century and probably the course of human history to this point. We don't know what's going to happen in the future. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed we don't have it happen again. Oryx and Crake is certain to make you look at your own life and examine the aspects of each own character that you can find within Jimmy, Crake, and Oryx. Just reading the book myself and self-examining it, I could see myself in the characters to a certain extent. You can feel compassionate for Oryx, this girl who's born into this horrendous situation but comes out of it and becomes an assistant to Crake. You can feel yourself being Jimmy, this misled, confused boy who's trying to find his own in this world that's being changed and controlled by people who are, quite honestly, crazy. And then there's Crake, this ambitious mad scientist who does everything he can in his own power to achieve his own goals regardless of the morality. It makes you wonder whether humanity will eventually lead to its own demise through its desire to become better, to become above humanity, per se. As for now, we haven't. But it makes you wonder